Welcome everyone to the top 10 list with me, Iadarola and Francesca Fiorentini. Francesca, thank you for being here.
Oh my God, I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Well, if you did miss it for the world, I would be like high and dry because I've only got 5 of the 10 here. You gotta pull your weight. But anyway, glad to have you here. We got a fun topic for you. So it's sort of political, I guess. Elon Musk is back in the news, which is the worst, but we're gonna try to make the best of it by projecting forward. If it were up to us, what are the 10 scandals that would eventually take him down financially, socially, in the eyes of his bizarre bootlicking worshipers? So I had fun putting together this list and I'm very curious about yours. Do you want to get us started?
I am racking my brain because you have to understand this man makes it very difficult because he is not only the richest man in the world, but he is uncancelable because he does things that are cringe every single minute of every single day. He tweets things that should have gotten him canceled. I mean, not truly, right? But like, just like that everyone should probably take him less seriously. But no, the Elon reply guys only love him harder and harder when he's like, let's take the W out of Twitter. So it's titter. You're like that. And they're just like, so.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Okay, number 5, excuse me. I think what would get Elon okay, so and the other thing is no amount of tax fraud and evasion will ever get a billionaire canceled because that just comes along with the territory and the IRS obviously isn't going after them and we're not making laws to actually make sure the billionaires pay their fair share. So all that's off the table. So but there is a photo of Elon floating around the internet and it is him in his goth stage when he has like long, just like kind of, maybe it was the hair plug, but like long brown kind of stringy hair. And he's got like eye makeup and he looks, he's dressed like a sort of French footman. And he's like just sort of lurking. Buttons. He's got buttons and he's kind of lurking. I think if that Elon came back and was like, this is who I am, you know what I mean? Or like, love me, like, I think that people would be cool on him and he would, his value would drop. I think if that Elon came back.
Yeah, I think, look, when you see this picture, it is clear that at that point, he either thought he was a vampire or really liked the idea that he could become one. Is this gonna translate?
Yeah.
There you go.
Hold it back a little bit.
Stringy hair. I'm goth. Yeah, I don't know if that would be enough, but I'd like to see it come out.
I think that would be. This is my truth.
Would he have to come up with like a new name, like a new
Ilana?
Like Ilana. I'll accept it. I'll accept him for who he actually is instead of making his identity just the jokes of other people that he steals and reposts. Anyway, yeah, I could go for that. That'd be a fun one.
Okay.
Mine. Some are more founded in truth than others. Some are purely speculative. Number 5 is one of those, and I'm gonna classify it as hashtag release the DMs because this guy is super thirsty, super cringe, can't read any social situation. So there's no way he hasn't been messaging some people.
Yeah.
And so it's not just that I want it to come out because that would be funny. It's that the specifics of what he would say would be funny. Because he just so wants to be seen as cool and awesome, and he thinks he is to some extent because of that really weird segment of Elon Musk reply guys. Yep. And I'm not saying that there's no women that wouldn't be interested or whatever. He is very wealthy. That said, he's Elon Musk, so I'm sure he's had a few swings and misses, and I just really hope that those come out at some point.
Dude, do you have a WAP?
Oh, but it would be like,
how is the WAP now?
It wouldn't even be that he typed it. It would be like he screenshotted someone else having typed it with like his face and he would send it.
Or he's just like, do you have a wet ass?
What? Oh God, I don't like it. No, I don't even want that to come out because I'd have to read them and maybe that's too far. I've redacted my number 5.
If Army Hammer had the like weird cannibalistic tweets and DMs, like Elon's got some weird stuff.
No, he's gonna have like fantasized about turning them into AI. Like, I'm gonna push you against the vent of the computer until you're digital, baby. Something weird like that. Something weird, you know it. And by the way, that would come out and like 10 minutes later, some guys would be like, well, why are they getting down on him? He's speculating about post-transcendental life. God. Anyway, that's my number 5. Or don't. What's your number 4?
Release the DMs. Okay. This is fly by the seat of my pants, but I do think in a similar sexual vein, and I apologize, but I think that if there were video of Elon going into one of his factories and like getting into one of the Teslas, the big one, the whatever.
The X, I think it is.
Yeah, the X. And just rubbing himself on the leather and like moving the car seat up and down until he putting his little junk in the little crevices and just like
exhaust port.
Like until no exhaust. Until completion. And then just kind of wipes it a little bit.
Francesca.
If he were seen rubbing one out on the Tesla, I think
spoiling.
I think that might do it.
I think there would be some of the reply guys would be like, I want to reserve one. I want the creative seed. I'm not sure that would really ruin him. I'm not sure.
They all want to obviously do that with the Tesla, but they won't. And just watching him. And maybe he looks at himself in the mirror while he's doing it in the rear view.
In that case, I think it should be a Model S, except the S would stand for something else. Yeah. Anyway, I hope that neither my 5 nor your 4 ever come to pass, so to speak. Anyway, my number 4 is a more serious one, but I already agree with Francesca who got out in front of this. The many ways that he habitually commits fraud in full public view with pump and dump schemes, knowing lies about Tesla and his other companies to make massive amounts of money, knowing that the SEC, if they ever investigate, will give him a fine of maybe 0.01% of the money he makes off of those instances of fraud. I don't know, maybe committing crimes could be made illegal. Like maybe it should be a bad thing for you to continually, repeatedly commit the same crimes. I don't think that it ever will happen. There's no way the rich would ever allow the SEC possessing even anything vestigial that looked like a tooth, let alone fangs. But that would be one of my hopes, is that the crimes he committed actually had consequences.
Yeah.
You should be fined 10 times, 100 times whatever you made off of the fraud. That's how you dissuade people. They literally want to kill people for murder, but they fine you a tiny bit. That'd be like slapping someone as a preventative against murder. Like, no, it has to be bigger, if that's what you're saying.
No, it's not gonna happen, and it wouldn't. Yeah, it's gotta be bigger than that. Because like everything he does is essentially supposedly legal, and it shouldn't be. But my number 3, which I just wrote down and then forgot about, but
great. You wrote it down. Why did you have to? You didn't have to remember it. You wrote it.
I know, but then I had deleted something else, and that bothered me. And then there was a whole. I got to redo. Control
it sounds
Z.
Like based on your experience,
it was good. It was very good.
He does his Neuralink thing.
It was
experiments on himself.
Yes.
And he wipes his own memory.
Yes.
He doesn't remember how to be cringe anymore.
Oh, I like that. I really do like that, actually. No, number 3 is SpaceX is an entire simulation. It's a lie. It never went into space. Everything has been done in a Hollywood lot and an indoor, set, a movie set. The zero force gravity, whatever, that's all been created. And it's just strung. Shut up. G4, I don't know, zero gravity.
Zero gravity.
And it's all been strung together by different space movies. There's the Gravity's in there and Apollo 13 and
for Spock.
Yeah, exactly. And they're all just and it's fake. And so SpaceX is actually just one big lie.
And he's part of the deep state.
And it's part of
state.
Right.
Yes.
He's still getting money for it, but no one's actually those were rockets, but they they came down immediately.
Exactly. Because there's no space, there's just a dome. It's ceramic, and the image we see is reflection.
Yes.
We could get that started, and that would be a very appropriate thing to take him out. That him playing into this like toxic right-wing conspiratorial worldview, that should be the thing that takes him out. I like it. My number 3 is actually related to that, and it's a simple one, not super jokey. Just have it actually break through, reach critical mass that he's just another douchebag billionaire Republican. That's all he is.
Yeah.
He supports their policies, their tax cuts, their politicians. That's what he wants. He wants low taxes and to be deregulated like literally every other rich person who has ever lived. He is not a free thinker. He's not an independent. He supports the right. That's what he is. So if they want to be fans of him, okay, that's fine. But it's the idea that there is something non-explicitly political about him that I find so unacceptable. That the right, and the right knows it, by the way, when the right just continually calls you a free thinker and that's it, why do people not get what that means? The right doesn't want free thinkers. They want people on the right with a bit of plausible deniability. And that's all it is. It's a mirage. It's a facade. He's a right winger. He's a billionaire, and he'll follow his economic interests like they all do. I hope that breaks through.
No, that's so true. And I think it might actually, as he has to reveal his hand. He is sort of revealing his hand a little bit more now that he like wants to buy Twitter and has just made them, whatever, some stupid offer that they rejected. So I think you're totally right. Like if he actually threw down with a re-election of Trump, or he threw down with like a Trump Jr. or DeSantis, purely on tax bases, I don't think it would get every fanboy off his back, off his nuts. But it would begin to.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's certainly some precedent for people that have an odd, unreasonable appeal on some elements of the left, but have clearly been supporting Republican politicians for multiple electoral cycles. I'll let people do the math on that. But anyway, maybe it would break through, maybe not, but that's my hope. What's your number 2?
My number 2, I'm torn because my number 1's good, but my number 2 is like a twofold. I mean, honestly, the best thing that's gonna cancel Elon Musk is time. When everyone who's invested in Dogecoin realizes they're broke now and they shouldn't have invested their life savings or whatever college fund. But okay, the real number 2 is
the sad one.
Just his real hair. Just going bald. Just a bald man.
You don't think he pull it off? Lex Luthor?
I don't think he can do it. I think that, I think maybe Bezos, which arguably bigger fish to fry potentially, even though he's not as rich supposedly. But I think just it all falls away. Just like if you were back to the sort of French, footman style, goth French footman, if he just be like Elon, no hair plugs. Elon would just sort of like, no offense, but again, like power and love to all the bald people out there who rock it. Elon, I don't think could. So I think if he just,
I don't think that he could. Yeah, well, look, it's just that's an example of having them see him for who he actually is, which he has run from and used millions and millions of dollars to hide in every way, physical, social, all of that.
He's a 50-year-old man, John. I didn't know he was 50.
I assumed he was like 42 or something like that.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
He's an old ass dude.
I mean,
yeah.
My number 2 is actually inspired by you and inspired by probably the main reason why I hate him, which is that like with Donald Trump, SNL, which is a thing that I watched, decided to waste an episode on him, and I hate them for that. So he wants to be loved and he wants to be thought of as hip and funny and clever. So he did SNL. Okay, why doesn't someone just maybe whisper in his ear, like, dude, you don't need that whole cast around you. You could do a full stand-up special.
Yeah.
Just you. You do it, man. You're funny. You're charismatic.
You've got jokes.
And he goes up there and he just bombs before the whole world. It wouldn't take him out, but it would be a fun catharsis, some schadenfreude. Maybe some of his followers who like still somehow think that he's a funny guy.
No.
Would have to grapple with the fact that that's not true.
Don't thrust him on the stand-up community. Here's what would happen. He, like on that SNL appearance, would hire writers who would make his jokes actually permissible. Then he would have some sort of like heart-to-heart one-man show moment where he was like, actually growing up rich was tough, and then like the lights would dim and he would like walk around and would turn into more of a TEDx talk, and it would just, he'd find a way. And then the New York Times op-ed page would be like, Elon's sensitive side, like the world according to Elon,
I
Elon's
take it
world.
all back.
Like,
I can't believe it.
These fools, they fail up,
No, he would just hide behind the money. It is frustrating. Oh, well, maybe I'm not gonna get him. I have one more idea, but first
one more chance.
What's your number one?
My
one more
last
thing to take him
chance.
down.
Last chance to take him down is grainy video footage. We're talking like early camcorder stuff. And we're in South Africa, and we're in an emerald mine that he owns, that has at age 14, around then. And he's there, and he's like, number one, he's in like galoshes, but like a diaper. So he's like 14, but he still wears diapers, but he's got galoshes because he's the king of this emerald mine. Once again, that's where his family got a lot of their money. And he basically is like racial slurs, like crazy.
God.
Just N-word flying, the K word in South Africa, just all blah, 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 blah. And he's there. Maybe he's got like a little, like a cape and like a staff. And he's telling people.
Can he have a crown with like big but gaudy emeralds on it?
Exactly. It's a little bit of like Max from Where the Wild Things Are, but Elon as an emerald mine, owner at that age, and just insane racism. That to me,
I know,
is the most perfect way he will be canceled, when we realize he is a POS and he's always been one, and he comes from money, and he did not make Tesla what it is. Yeah. It's all a fantasy.
I do like that, and it's certainly, there's some grains of truth in that they've created a completely inhospitable, discriminatory environment at Tesla, according to allegations. But the issue is, his fan base pretty much is on the right. Are you sure they'd like him less?
Yeah.
Using the N-word?
Yeah.
Might be okay with it.
No, because I think a lot of crypto bros who like Elon, I think a lot of like people on the waiting list for the Cybertruck,
Yeah.
They
maybe
they're just not that political. Like that, I think we have to remember, the vast majority of people are not that political. And so for Elon, they're like, yeah, he's a celebrity and he's rich and he's got things, and so they generally like him. They don't associate him with anything political, which is why
let's make it happen.
I think one of yours, in terms of him being far right, is like a really good way to get them to turn on him.
And I'm gonna add one more wrinkle. He's marching around in diapers, and he wears like the big pull-up like waiter boots.
Yeah.
The reason he does it is because the diaper can't contain all of what he's putting out. Coats the floor, and he doesn't want to get it onto his fancy shoes, so he wears waders and marches around with his scepter, yelling the N-word in a trail of his own poop. That's what I want. I want it, and I'm as mature now as Elon Musk. Okay.
Yeah.
So my number 3 was have him be revealed as the right winger that he is. I have an alternative.
Okay.
And I am willing to make a sacrifice for this, because for this to happen, we would need in the 2024 Democratic primary for Hillary Clinton to run again. I want him to misread the situation and to come out in support of her, and to become a very, like, brief, for one day, a major booster of Hillary Clinton. And that would turn off every single person that likes him so much that I think it's the simplest way for him to lose all of their admiration, because they hate Hillary. The crypto bros, the libertarians, the hard right wingers, the free speech people. Yes. All he needs to do is put out a video endorsing Hillary, and it's it for him.
That is so good.
And if that means that Hillary becomes president, sacrifices must be made.
No, of course Hillary's not gonna be president. But you've just identified a brand even more toxic than Elon Musk.
True.
Who, if he hitches his wagon to her, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, like take a look at like the awesome anthem fight song. It's ruined now just because you can't help but associate it with Hillary Clinton. If it can take down fight song, it can take down Elon Musk.
Right, the only people who will like him will be like, I don't know, Maggie Haberman will be like,
now.
I really love Elon.
Yeah, okay. I love it. I want to see it.
Can take down fight song.
Thank you. Anyway, those are our top 10 scandals that we would prefer would be the ones to inevitably take down Elon Musk, which, by the way, I'm not saying he will be taken down by one of these, but something like this will happen because he cannot shut up and he is the most cringe person on the planet.
Yes.
You combine those two things, add a dash of time, and you know what you'll get. Anyway, those are our thoughts. You can post yours down below if you have requests for top 10 lists. Feel free to let us know. Thank you everyone for all of your support. You let us do what we do, and we love being able to because we don't want to do anything else. This is the only thing that we're skilled at. So, thank you as always, Francesca. Thank you.
I have skills. Okay.
You do. You can do comedy or whatever. But I got this and nothing else. I'll see you guys later.